This is the actuator out of an 8-inch Winchester drive from the early 80s. It's amazing how big this thing is. This is the magnet poles here. Here's the voice coil. When I say voice coil, that's what we called it from this fits inside slot. It's a linear motor in the sense that you put current through the coil, you got flux in this gap, moves this back and forth. So this is a rotary actuator made by SMC Systems Magnetics in Anaheim. It's got two huge bearings. Those are about the size that are used in an alternator in a car, maybe one size smaller. And this thing is about 9 inches long. And the heads are on here. The disc that rotates out is over here. And so this moves back and forth to do seeking. This particular model had positions for many different heads. It's got 1, 2, 3. These are where the disc went between, because the way this swung is like a record player. Part of the disc was actually inside here because it recorded on the edge. The disc arc is coming through here, and the head was recording at the edge over here. And so these are the slots where the edge of the disc shot through. This particular unit had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs. It was probably around, if I had to guess, maybe around 10 megabytes or 20 for that era with that many discs. I may be wrong, but it wasn't much in today's standards. These things were pretty expensive. They were over $100 a piece just for the actuator, probably $200. The whole unit sold for probably $6,000 or $8,000, maybe $10,000 for the whole disk drive. And I think this is off a Pertec 8-inch drive, or a CDC out of Oklahoma City. But this is a actuator out of an 8-inch disk drive Winchester. Maybe if somebody else knows what the heck this fits, they can tell me. I got this back in the late 80s out of a junk pile at a place I worked at. You can still hook this thing up through the coil, and this went underwater in Katrina, so I need to probably pull the bearings, but you can put voltage on this thing. It'll move back and forth. I've used this to do some vibration testing, where I put something on here and then I just use this as my shaker table. To do that and have it not move, I have to actually have an extra weight out here, because right now this is a little bit imbalanced on here. Actually, it may not be. I'll correct me. It's not. It's fairly well balanced, but that really doesn't matter. But this is an actuator made by System Magnetics. You drive this with a huge electronic control that's basically like a power amplifier off of a, it's like driving a speaker. This moves back and forth. Today's disk drives use rotary actuators just like this, except the whole thing is way miniaturized, smaller. Instead of using old-time magnets here, they use rare earth magnets. This, of course, is not rare earth magnets. This is Alnico magnets down in here, or ceramics perhaps. And it's got a big honking coil on here with big wire it's got square wire on here, which is kind of high-tech for that time. And to get more amp turns in there, you use square wire. And this may have been wound by hand, I'm not sure, but the wire actually in the coil here is square wire. Therefore, you get a little bit more tighter packing, makes a little bit more higher efficient motor. They actually made these in bigger versions, but this is just one that's for an 8-inch drive.